You're listening to Keith Engle, the host of TGI Sports Talk on the National Streaming Sports Roku channel.
Football season is here, and SeatGeek is my go-to for buying tickets. Now with SeatGeek, every single ticket is backed with their buyer guarantee. We've all had plans change, and when you can't make it to the big game, SeatGeek has you covered. They're the only ticketer that allows you to return your tickets ahead of the event for credit with SeatGeek swaps. So when things come up, I know that my tickets won't go to waste. So what are you waiting for? Download the SeatGeek app to maximize your possibilities and shop live events with confidence. Football season is here, and SeatGeek is my go-to for...
Good morning. Oh, God. Good morning, everybody. Let's get this music going, shall we? Good morning, everybody. Good morning, music. Good morning. Keith Engle for TGI Sports Talks one-on-one. I had all kinds of time after my appearance on Mac and Jack this morning, and I still had a little problem at the end. I had a Northeast Streaming Sports promo I wanted to play, and I couldn't find it. I'm sorry, National Streaming Sports. Good grief. But welcome, everybody, this morning. Everybody watching on our Facebook and YouTube pages. You can also catch us, as I said, on Roku, National Streaming Sports Roku channel. If you have not downloaded those that Roku channel on the Roku app, please do so. We want to thank SeatGeeks, who is a major sponsor of National Streaming Sports, and in turn, this show. We'll have some others potentially as we go forward. Want to give a quick shout out to Ralph Williams at RW Media. He does some great stuff there in Pittsburgh, including a sports corner every Tuesday from 4 to, I don't like the way my background is pixelating. I have no idea what happened here. We've been fine for a long time. But Ralph does some great stuff. The sports corner, 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern time on Facebook and YouTube. And also he has a radio presence there in Pittsburgh, which he'll talk about. And you can see, I've got to get that slick from him so that I can post it for him. I did appear on his show with Smoking Jim Frazier Tuesday from 4:30 to 5:30. You can see that on my Facebook page. Shout out to the groups, of course, who are so instrumental in the success of the show. John Gonzalez, among them. Sorry, I only point out some of the guys who come here and participate, and those that are going above and beyond. They all go above and beyond, but John Gonzalez at the Sports Authorities, for sure. Greg Rawlings at America's Pastime, the love for baseball. Flo and Flo and the gang over at Bottom Line Sports. They also broadcast their podcast, which check it out. It's good stuff on Let's Talk Sports, who's a good friend of the show, obviously. Golf Bud Sports of all sorts with Ken Krause. And there's obviously dozens and dozens more. DDH, thumbs up. Today we're going to have a bit of a different show. We don't have an interview per se, but we're going to talk about and get ready for something, guys. How many people we got in here? 3 or 4 or 5 in the room? 10? We're going to do something different. We're going to talk a little bit about my vacation time and when you can expect to catch the shows. And then we're going to give you, if you want, hopefully this goes well. Hopefully guys will want to do it. Please, if you got a rant, do it. I want to give you guys 2 minutes. I'll put a link in the chat when we're ready to do it. And come in for 2 or 3 minutes. We'll spend this till 9:30ish or so. Give you guys a chance to rant a little bit about whatever topic you want to rant about. And I will be quiet. And then maybe when you leave, again, I'll take you out. If you drop some F-bombs or things we shouldn't be doing, I'm going to drop you. Don't do that. But talk about whatever you want. Be as enthusiastic as you want. You want to call me out about something? Go ahead. And I will not interject until you're gone. We'll see how that goes. And if it goes well, it might be a feature that we had. And then at 9:30ish, 9:30, 9:35, I want to talk a little bit about a friend of mine from Perth Central. You know how close I am in the Just lost the word I wanted to say. The camaraderie that we have amongst us Perthites. A lot of them are big participants on the show. And Rick Sherlock's brother, Bob, was inducted into the National Semi-Pro Football Hall of Fame this past week. Rick is doing some stuff this morning. He'll be in the car about 9:30. I wanted to be able to comment. I was going to have him come on and maybe preview it, but we're going to play Bob's induction speech at the Hall of Fame, and we'll talk a little bit about Bob and the things that he accomplished, and just a great guy. By the way, one of the nicest people you will ever meet would be Bob Sherlock. So a little bit different. We'll get into some different topics today, and we'll see who's with us. We can do lots of stuff. I do want to give you the holiday rundown before we do much. Whoops, that's me. Good morning, Scott Kobe. I wanted to call out this. Good morning, it's Scott Kobe too, and I had this written down. Scott, and I won't go into a lot of particulars. I don't say this to embarrass Scott. Scott's going through some hard times right now with some serious health issues, and I'd like to ask all of you, the people that follow the show in person and comment, and all of you that will watch this later on, and there's going to be thousands of you, maybe not today because we don't have a special guest, and we won't have as many shares as I normally would, but we'll have 1,000 plus, 1,500. Every one of you and anybody you share this with to send some positive energy Scott's way. If you're a religious person and you pray, send prayers. If you're not, send positive thoughts. Me, I'm not the most religious person in the world. I'm very spiritual. I will be sending lots of positive chi Scott's way because he's a big part of this show and a good friend, and we wish him well. So I hope that isn't to embarrass you, Mr. Colby, but I wish you the well and want you to be to pop through this. And I hope you're able to get back into the pools. You were doing so well and you dropped out. The Keith Engle guy is me. So it's kind of an interview. It's kind of a joke, but we don't have a guest who will interview me. So I hope you pop in. I hope Chris pops in for a 2-minute rant. Think of something you want to talk about. I don't care, Rick or Chris. It could be any of the things I asked you to go out and find, right? Ralph Williams, we might let pop in. Do a little plug for his show. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to do whatever you want. And we'll get to that in a second. You're welcome, Scott. It is from the bottom of my heart. Believe me, Scott's one of the good guys doing this type of thing as well. And check out Scott's shows as well. There you go. Good stuff. I'm sure there'll be lots of that. I'll go back to your comments and any of that put up, and we'll share it and get ready because I want to see if at least a couple of guys pop in and do these little rants and see how they go. 2 minutes. A little rundown on my schedule. So we'll be live in the studio Sunday with the Stream of Consciousness. That's I wrote this stuff down. Where'd my notes go, Keith? I wrote it all down and I got rid of my notes. Probably can't read them anyway. Sunday with the Stream of Consciousness will be live. What's that date? 10/20. I'll be live. Wednesday we'll be live with the College Football Huddle. And I'll also be on the professional streaming sports show on National Streaming Sports at night. After that, it gets a little wonky. Next Friday, the following 2 Fridays, there'll be encore presentations for the one-on-one interview show. We leave for vacation Friday. We'll be gone from the 25th until the 6th of November. Back Election Day. Actually, I'm back on Election Day late in time to vote and get ready for the Civil War. So Sunday we'll have the Stream of Consciousness live. This week, I did say that already. Next week, the College Football Huddle will be live in studio. After that, the following 2 Fridays will be encore presentations of the one-on-one interview show. We will do the Major League Baseball update at some point on the show. Could be 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 minutes. I don't know what time it'll be. I'll try to give you guys a heads up. Follow the show. Make sure you're going and you're following the show. Don't just follow. Go to TGI Sports Talk Facebook page and follow. When I go live, it'll pop up on your phone. We're going to do that live, and all of my shows on Roku will air at their normal time with some kind of content. It'll either be encore presentations or whatever I do with my normal shows from the deck of that cruise ship. We'll put that on the regular time on Roku, but it may not be 3:00 in the afternoon for the MLB update. That one's got a better shot of being on time than any other one, probably. We'll also do the Sunday stream of conscious. That'll be let's see. This Friday could be rough. Next Friday could be rough because I should be able to sneak away and do a half hour anyway. Could be early, could be late. The Sunday stream of consciousness we'll definitely do. Whether we go 2 hours, will be whatever's going on, and if I've got excursions or whatever. But we will find time to do it. And again, it'll air on Roku. We'll air something on Roku in that 8:30 time slot. And I think that's all I'll miss. I'll be back to do the college football huddle from the studio on the 6th. And I guess that's about it for that. But we'll make sure that we get lots of stuff in. So that's that. I'll give you guys as much heads up as I can. Again, when I'm traveling, I try not to do any work, but this I enjoy doing at least a few. If we miss something, we miss it. And I apologize ahead of time, but that's how we kind of roll here. You're going to get 2 minutes, Alan. You're going to get 2 minutes. We're not doing interviews here. What we're doing here is 2 minutes. You can say anything you want, and then I'm going on to the next person. So let's see what happens. We're going to start that right now. So it's your time to shine, guys. Let's, as you say, did I say this? You're the guest. That's why it says pop in the show for a 2-minute rant. 2 minutes. I'm going to put the thing in here, and you guys can all click, and I'll bring you in as we do it. And I want to do this until about 9:30, 9:35, maybe 9:40. But how it goes. If we don't have that many guys, then it'll be very short, and I'll have to fill the time. But at 9:35-ish, we're going to start talking about Bob Sherlock's induction into the Semi-Pro Football Hall of Fame. It's a little self-indulgent on my part, giving some props to a fellow Perthite. And we'll play his induction interview, which was really kind of cool, I thought. And Rick will be here to kind of maybe give a little preamble, but 9:30 we'll get into that. So let me put in the hold on, I got to find my little button. And this may come up a few times just because of the way StreamYard works. It may pop up a few times. Any of these links will work. First come, first serve. You got 2 minutes, Alan. You're no filibustering. You come in and tell me why I'm wrong about your Oklahoma Sooners. You do whatever you want, but you got 2 minutes. First guy to pop in will be the first guy we let in. And again, you got 2 minutes. I will not interrupt you. You'll have 2 minutes to talk about what you want. Come on, Chris, you got something to talk about. Nick. Good morning, Nick Botkins. Good to see you with us here, by the way. Pop in, Ralph. Ralph will do a rant. I'm sure it's about Russell Wilson getting the starting quarterback job back. So, guys, click that link. Nobody's clicked it yet. Might be a little delay. Scott, you can come on and talk if you want about bets or whatever you think about. Linda or Mac, you're welcome to come in. Nick's here. Good morning, Nick. Good to have you with us, buddy. Guardians saved their season last night. Yes, they did. Absolutely. Keith is the independent candidate in the election this year. I wish I was. I'd straighten this country out, man. That'd be sad for us all. Rangers. Come on, guys. Click the link. You know you want to do this. Come on. You guys are killing me. All right. Two tough ball games last night, by the way. Mets on the verge of elimination. I'll talk for a bit. Mets on the verge of elimination, down 3-1. They virtually have a bullpen game tonight. You got to get the offense going. You got to stop walking, 10 guys a game. Yankees, tough loss last night. It's only one loss, so I still like their chances. We'll talk a lot about the baseball on the MLB update at 3 p.m. today. Where are you guys? Look, there's a link right here. Your voice isn't so good. Well, you do what you want. It's only 2 minutes, Scott, so you can pop in. Where's Alan? Come on, Alan. You guys are killing me. What else is going on? So I'll just throw a few things out there. We got big football chatter this week. There's somebody. Who we got? Alan Peralta is going to get 2 minutes. 2 minutes to probably rip me about my take on Oklahoma or tell me why they're going to win the national championship despite their blowout loss at Texas. I will not say a word, Alan. You go. Go.
You make me get up 2 minutes after I get up just to do this? Really? Come on now. Lord. Actually, it's not going to be about Oklahoma. It's actually going to be about the Cowboys, for one. It's time for Jerry to step down. It really is. I mean, I'm tired of it. I'm frustrated with it. It's gotten to the point where the entire fan base is frustrated with them. Like, even those diehards that would still be like, oh, we can still, salvage the season. Why not? Even they're getting tired of it. You can only do so much in 30 years. Like, seriously. And I've said this. I don't know if you've heard me say this. It's like, if Neil O'Donnell wasn't playing pitch and catch with Larry Brown, I don't think any of this would happen. Because winning that Super Bowl against Pittsburgh is probably what inflated Jerry Jones' ego a little bit. Because he did it his way. They did it their way. That was still Jimmy's team. That was still Jimmy Johnson's team. I get it. You want to take credit for trying to build this roster, for trying to win a Super Bowl your way. But when your quarterback is coming out and saying that there is no incentives to even try and practice, especially when you lose games as bad as you do, there's a problem. When you won't make the necessary roster changes that you need to do to make this team better, there's a problem. I get it. You're strapped for money. I get it. There's a lot of things that can happen with that. But you're going to have a top 10 salary cap next year. You're going to have the best salary cap in 2 years. You can afford to spend a little money. I'm sorry. It's
all right. I didn't start my stopwatch, but I think I gave you your 2 minutes, Alan. Very well said. And thank you for being the first guy to pop in. We want to see how this goes. We got them lined up on the runway, so I'm gonna remove you now. But great job, Alan. Sorry your Cowboys are so bad, and the Sooners, I'm afraid, are.
I want the year to end, Keith. I'm done with 2024 sports.
Thanks for popping in, Alan. And watch Alan's stuff on Let's Talk Sports. He does a lot of great stuff. And I'm glad I see your hair's not green. I thought his hair was green in a picture yesterday. So
come on, Oklahoma City. You're my only hope this year.
All right. Thanks, Alan. Alan was our first 2-minute rant guy. Now I got my stopwatch out now because I'm trying to figure out I can't do math and watch this thing count up. So we're going to bring in next. We got Ralph Williams from RW Media. Hopefully Ralph will give us his radio information too, because he keeps forgetting to frickin' download the Slick. But Ralph might have I think I know where Ralph's going with his rant. We're going to bring Ralph in. Good morning, Ralph.
Hey, good morning, Keith. How are you? How's everything?
Excellent, man. You're on the clock. Give it to us.
All right. I will. This is Ralph's rant, and I approve this rant. All right. I want to talk about this Russell Wilson thing. As Keith said earlier, Russell Wilson is starting this Sunday against the New York Jets, Pittsburgh Steelers, Sunday Night Football. Let me say this. Russell Wilson was promised to be the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers when they signed him. And they signed him for $1 million, and Denver's picking up the rest, and Seattle's picking up the rest as well. So between three teams, Russell Wilson's getting three different paychecks. But anyway, Russell Wilson's going to start on Sunday. I see better performance with the offense with Russell Wilson. I like Justin Fields. Justin Fields does what he has to do to win, but it's nice to see Russell Wilson in the game. They're going to open up the playbook. Justin Fields can sit on the sideline and he can watch Russell Wilson play football, play quarterback, and learn more from Russell Wilson. Also, it's going to be an interesting scenario here to see coach and GM Aaron Rodgers and his gang come into Acrisure Stadium and try to beat the Steelers, even if the Devontae Adams plays or he doesn't play. I think the Steelers have the Jets' number this week. I think the Steelers are going to win by a score of 20-10. Or it may even be 30-10, depending on how good Russell Wilson plays. And I see Russell Wilson playing a very good game. He has something to prove. He has something he wants to do. He wants to show. And it's time for Russell Wilson in a Steeler uniform to show his skills. Also, I want to talk a little bit about Pitt football. Pitt Panthers are 6-0, and they're about to become 7-0. They play a very bad, very sad Syracuse team who has a new coach who's coming into Acrisure Stadium next Thursday on the 24th. That's going to be an interesting game. We're going to see how far that goes. Baseball, I'm interested to see if this is going to be a Mets Yankees Subway Series. Wouldn't that be an interesting scenario there, everyone, to see that? I would love to see that game because I would love to see that World Series. But you know what's interesting? I was wrong about the LA Dodgers. I said they were going to fail again this year and go and bow out in the first round of the playoffs. I have egg on my face. I was wrong on that one. I'm not wrong too often, but I was wrong on that one. Don't forget 2 to 3 p.m. every Saturday, 12:50 a.m. 92.5 FM. The Answer in Pittsburgh, and also on the Answer's website as well. Check out Sports Corner with me, Ralph Williams, Smoking Jim Frazier, Claudia Rosano, and Luther Dupree. Keith, thank you for being on last week. I really appreciate you, and thank you for letting me have my time. You have a great day.
You too. Thanks, Ralph. We let Ralph go a little bit long, but that's okay because Ralph's a good guy, and we want to make sure we give him his time, and I wanted to allow him to push whatever he wanted to push. And next up, we're going to have Mr. Mac McGrath, the CEO and chief bottle washer. I'd like to say the brains behind National Streaming Sports, but we know that's Linda.
Yes.
So,
yes,
Mac, your 2 minutes starts now.
I know it does. And let me talk to Ralph here real quick. Russell Wilson is not the answer. The Jets' biggest problem is the running game. Russell Wilson cannot run anymore with that injured calf. It should be Justin Fields. But what I really want to get to is the other team. I cannot watch the Jets anymore as long as their quarterback is Aaron Rodgers. He's pompous. He's the head coach, GM, offensive coordinator, coach, quarterback. He's everything over there. He's making that team worse. I liked the Jets before, Keith. I liked them. My grandpa's favorite team. I would watch the Jets with my grandfather because they're a New York team. And our little brothers, I would always hope that they would go ahead and win. I wanted to play them in the Super Bowl in 1986 instead of the Denver Broncos. It would have been a better game. The Giants would have beat them, but it would have been better. But right now, I can't watch the Jets play. I won't be tuning in to watch Russell Wilson fall down and get hurt and watch Aaron Rodgers blow the game at the end after they put Justin Fields in. So I have to say that the worst trade ever made, maybe in the history of football, is trading for Aaron Rodgers. And that's all I got to say, Keith. I mean, I'm not going to take up all your time and promo National Streaming Sports, which take another 10 minutes. But that's right?
Only if you list all the shows, Mac. I mean,
Yes. Thanks for having me on, Keith.
Well done. I appreciate you coming in. Thanks, Mac.
All right, buddy.
I see Chris. Chris will be up next. I just want to comment real quick on a couple of things there. So to Ralph's rant about his Steelers being a Pittsburgh native, he's closer to that situation than any of us. This is a silly move at 4-2. I'm sorry. It's not if you're replacing Justin Fields with vintage Russell Wilson, I understand. There's no reason to think Russell Wilson's any better than Justin Fields right now. And the Jets are a drama. And, we told the Jets be careful what they wish for when they brought in Aaron Rodgers, and that's what they've got. Now, you can't be too critical when my team is as bad as they are at this moment. So this is going well. I will say right now, I've got Chris coming in here for his rant here in a second. Anybody else? I'm looking for who else I can call out to get in here. I know a couple of our normal guys are not in this morning. Chris, you can come in, buddy. Oh, he's going to come in shortly, he said. So good. Scott Molesky. Scott, I'd love you to come in do a little rant this morning. We're giving people 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Talk about anything you want. You come in and talk about your books. Talk about whatever you want. And Scott, we might do an interview at some point too. So pop in here for 2 minutes. With that said, let's bring in Chris. Good morning, Chris. Come here. Come on, I don't have any video here. What's going on? Let me pop you out. Chris, pop back in. I know what happened there. We didn't have any video. Chris popped back in. We lost him somehow. Anyway, we're giving people 2 minutes to do a rant on anything they want. You can push your product. I don't care. As long as you don't drop F-bombs. And I did it once or twice. It's not the end of the world, but we don't want to have, this hour might have kids watching. Sometimes my granddaughter, well, not today. She's in nursery school. Chris, I don't know where you are, but if you're watching, buddy, please come back in. Not Chris F. Gray, but I couldn't read the first name. And I apologize. We'd had no video. I probably should have left you and gave you a chance, but when I tried to pop you out, you disappeared. I feel really bad about that. Again, Scott Molesky, hope you might pop in, give us a little rant for 2 minutes. And good morning. I didn't put that up there, but good morning. It's great to have you with us. Keith, this is a Cowboy fan. Come on, give him 90 seconds. Is that Chris? I was trying to. Tell him to get back in here. I couldn't read the first name. I thought it said Indian, Chris. Sometimes I can't read too good, but let me put I'm gonna put the invite up again. If you can't see it, Scott, or anybody who might have come in late, I'll copy and I'll put it in the comments again. Anybody can pop in. We're gonna do this for another, I don't know. We can go 5 or 10 more minutes. So I'm trying to wait for Rick to get here so he can comment a little bit about his brother Bob in the induction to the National Semi-Pro Hall of Fame that we're going to play Bob's induction speech for. So who we got? Who can I call out? We already got him. We already got Ralph. You can, Chris F. Grave, where are you? You said a little bit. We're going to run out of time to do this here in about 5 minutes, so 10 minutes. And I feel so bad. I didn't put this in the comment like a dummy. So, Scott, if you didn't find it in the comments above, you can find it where you are now. Nick, if you're still here, you can pop in. Alan did. You can come in and promote your shows. I don't care what we ran about. I'm giving you guys this forum. This is a forum that I'd love to cultivate a little bit and do once a month, whatever. When I don't have a guest for the one-on-one show, we can fill with some of this quality entertainment. College football, by the way, big week. If you didn't watch your college football huddle, big games this weekend with Georgia and Texas. I like Texas. I don't know if I like them a lot, but I like Texas. I think I'm betting the over in that game, as I said earlier. We've got Alabama at Tennessee. I like Tennessee with the points at home. We got Notre Dame at Georgia Tech. Big game for Notre Dame, trying to stay in that playoff race. By the way, as I mentioned on the college football huddle, anybody who was a opponent of the 12-team playoff because it would make the regular season irrelevant, I defy you to tell me that there hasn't been excitement every single week up until now. And there will continue to be excitement. Might take a little luster out some of the national championship games because without divisions, you're not going to have a big upset probably in those championship games that will get somebody into the playoff and knock somebody off the bubble. But still, I think we'll have plenty. So Chris says, I didn't see this comment earlier. I was looking back over some more comments there. Who else has just popped in recently? Scott. Come on, guys. You can do this for me. I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on to the Bob Sherlock stuff here in a second. But we had 3 or 4 people. That was I really feel bad about Chris getting dropped. And Scott, did you? Scott, you commented on, I think Chris, who was in and got dropped. I don't know what happened. I apologize. That could have been my user error because he didn't have the camera didn't come up. And I thought if I popped them in and popped them back out, we might get it. Oh, who we got? He's back. Does that say a name? What is that? I can't read. I'm so bad. Let me put Chris in the show. Hang on one here, Chris. I apologize. Are you with me, Chris? There he is. Chris, I apologize.
I'm with you.
There.
Are you with me?
I got you now. So you have 2 minutes to go on a rant here, Chris. Give it to us.
I don't even need 2 minutes. I just want to know which Chris you want. You want Chris like CBS Radio Chris? Do you want the evangelical Chris where I can talk high and I can come down low and talk to you about Clayton Kershaw?
Is this Chris F. Grave? You come in under an assumed name. Is that the deal you're doing with me here?
It better be. Anyway, to Kershaw, if you can hear me okay.
I got you. You give me any
Kershaw
Chris you want.
is getting we're treating Clayton Kershaw like he's older than Moses, lending the rake back to Jesus. He's only 38 years old. I can't call him old man winner. I'm 4 years older than him. So what I'm saying is, with this younger generation talking about players online, they're telling other players when they're done. So even a young guy like Kershaw, like I said, who's only 38 years old, he's reading in the papers about how he should be hanging him up. Your thoughts?
Clayton Kershaw. Thank you, Chris, for coming in. I didn't realize who got booted there. Sometimes our viewers like to kind of sneak in under different names. Thank you for coming in, Chris. Here I am yelling at him to come on the show, and he's already sitting there, and I booted him from the studio somehow by accident. Clayton Kershaw, look, I don't know what the situation is. He's had injuries. I mean, I think they're still teasing that he could be on the roster for the World Series. Clayton Kershaw was a great pitcher. Clayton Kershaw is still a good pitcher when he can get to the mound. And unfortunately, Clayton Kershaw, like so many, his best days are behind him. And, you know, he's making a lot of money. So I think it's a combination of a couple of things in my mind. I can't stop this thing. There we go. I think it's a combination of a couple of things, right? They're tantalized by the fact that if he could stay healthy, he could really help this team. And Kershaw, like a lot of great athletes, is not willing to hang it up. I don't think he's hanging around for the money. He's got plenty of money. He's made $1 gazillion in his career. He doesn't need the money. He's here because of pride, and that's what keeps a lot of guys around. Fortunately and unfortunately, in a lot of cases, some guys hang around too long. Willie Mays hung around too long. Derek Jeter, quite frankly, hung around too long. Some guys go out on top, right? Sandy Koufax, due to injuries. Barry Bonds was still a really good player when he went out. Some guys just can't hang it up. And I don't know. The Dodgers, listen, the Dodger pitching situation has been the thing that has surprised me the most during this Mets series and the playoffs in general. Well, especially in the Mets series. The Mets offense has kind of disappeared except for one game. They're on the verge of elimination. And Flaherty against the bullpen tonight. I know Peterson's getting the start, but this is basically a bullpen game for the Mets. Buehler pitched well. We didn't know. We thought the Dodgers might have two starters and then try to figure it out. Well, they seem to have figured it out. Mets, I would tell you to stop walking, the ballpark, and you might have a chance to win this series and score some runs. They got to turn it around. We'll see if the Mets mojo they've come through with their backs to the wall before. They did it in an elimination game with the Braves. They did it. Could have been an elimination game with the Braves anyway. They've done it several times. We'll see if they can do it with their backs to the wall with total elimination on the board. I'm trying to kind of fill until Rick shows up because I don't really want to start the Bob Sherlock stuff. And again, I'm not really going to apologize because, again, sometimes I like to be he's still meeting, so I can't wait. All right. Anyway, we can't wait. Maybe we'll get Bob in, or Rick in before the show. I'm going to do the preamble. I'm going to tell him to pop in if it's before 10. Because this is a very meaningful thing for Rick. All of you guys who follow my show know Rick Sherlock from his comments here. Again, fellow Perthite, we are a very tight group of people. And when one of ours does well, we like to revel in that with them. And Bob Sherlock, as I said, is one of the greatest people you've ever met. He's ahead of me a little bit in school, as was Rick. But Bob was a tremendous athlete in high school, tremendous football player, basketball player. After his career, he went on to play for the Glove City Colonials in the Empire Football League here in the 70s. I'm a 64-year-old man, guys, so we're going back a ways. I'm a 64-year-old man, and these guys are just a little bit older than me. They played football in the Empire Football League. At that time, it was one of the great semi-pro football leagues across the country. Semi-pro football was huge at that time. I don't know if it's as big now as it was, but it was huge then. Bob was He had a career that I'm going to read from. This is the preamble for his induction. It was in the, if you will, the what do you want to call it? The booklet for the induction ceremonies. Bob Sherlock's career with the Glove City Colonials in the Empire Football League is one of dedication, resilience, and remarkable achievement. Starting in 1974, I did say 1974, Bob quickly became a force on the field, helping the Colonials win the EFL championship in his rookie season with a 7-1 record. His defensive prowess was immediately recognized in 1975, he earned multiple honors, including Most Outstanding Player on the Hudson Mohawk Valley Shrine Game and Defensive Player of the Week. Over the next several seasons, that's all as a rookie, Bob solidified his reputation as one of the league's top defensive players. He was named to the Empire Football League's All-Star team multiple times and consistently earned MVP awards for his defensive performances. In 1978, Bob was a runner-up for the EFL's most valuable player as a defensive lineman, guys, leading the Colonials to an 11-1 record and another division title. Despite suffering a knee injury in 1979, Bob's commitment to the team didn't waver. He transitioned to coaching serving as a special teams and assistant defensive coach, where his leadership continued to influence the Colonials' success. Bob continued, he returned to the field in 1981, playing his final season before retiring as a player. Bob's contributions were far from over. Boy, this is my Perth education. Bob's contributions were far from over in 1991. He was inducted into the Colonials Hall of Fame, and in 1992, he rejoined the coaching staff, continuing to shape the team with his experience and passion. Bob's journey is a story of excellence, perseverance, and love for the game. His legacy in minor league football is a lasting inspiration to his teammates, coaches, and fans alike, making the Hall of Fame induction a well-deserved celebration of his outstanding career. So, guys, that is kind of the preamble to what I'm going to show you now, which is Bob's induction speech. He'll be introduced by Harry Robinson, one of his best friends, who is also a member of the Semi-Pro Football Hall of Fame. As is, let me see, you'll see some other people, and he'll talk about some other people in here, but I'm trying to think of some other Colonials. Joe Hall, obviously, of the Glove City Colonials, one of the great running backs, man. You wonder why this guy never got a shot above that. Joe was an electric player with the Colonials. Bob Bean, the late Bob Bean, who was a quarterback. Mike Malatino, who I know I'm going to say his name wrong. If Rick comes in, he can run down these people better than I can. Rick played on these teams with these guys. Rick Sager, I know, is a member of the Hall of Fame as well. Rick did a lot of things on the field and off the field, but all of them were in attendance for this. And I'm going to, I'll play that later. I'm going to play this now, and we'll play. It's about 14 minutes, and then we'll come back, and hopefully Rick will join us by then. He may be on the road, and he can comment a little bit on this. And by the way, Rick made this. Rick has had some major, and again, we talked about Scott Colby. Our prayers go out to him. Rick's had some major issues as well. Rick had a major procedure. Bob was with him every step of the way, which Rick will talk about if he gets to get with us. He won't be able to come on the show, but he'll put in the comments. When Rick had his issues, his brother Bob was with him every step of the way in the hospital, the ER, everything that he went through. This is the kind of human being that we're talking about. And I know it means a lot to Rick. And I know one of Rick's first questions after he had his procedure was, can I get it to Canton? Canton, Ohio, by the way, home of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, also home to the Semi-Pro Football Hall of Fame. Let's get to the inductions, and we'll go from there. I got to play it. Hang on one second, guys. Bear with me.
I'm here to present for Bob Sherlock, for his family and friends who all came to this induction. Bob and I have known each other for 50 years. He was 19, I was 22. First day we met on the practice field of Pleasant Avenue Elementary School. Bob, it took a short time before you knew what talent this guy had on the football field. He brought with him a gift, an ability to play the game of football to the best of its ability. As we went on as teammates, we became friends. And from there, we used our talent, our dedication to win football games. When you see the abilities of this man and his determination and his ability to contribute to the fullest, you find a complete football player. In my eyes, Bob has 2 previous Hall of Fame inductees. His first was for the Glove City Colonials. His second, and most important to me, is the Hall of Fame of Friendships. And that's what has led us to this day. In 2019, I told his wife and Bob both that I would make every effort I could to get him into the Hall of Fame. I guess it worked. Now, I present to you Robert Big Bird Sherlock. Wait a minute, I'm not done. My 3 minutes isn't up yet. He's my friend, my teammate, and now he's a new member of a Brotherhood for Life. Bob Sherlock. You got it, brother.
Thank you, Harry. Good evening, everyone. First of all, thank you to Dave Birch. What a wonderful organization. What a great job you do with this AFA. It's amazing. Didn't realize all the work that you put behind this and through this. And you certainly kind of nurtured me through with a lot of emails and stuff, kind of guiding me through the path and getting me here, getting my family here and stuff too. So thank you. Congratulations to all of this year's Hall of Fame inductees and all the past inductees. I was here for Harry's in 2018. It's quite a brotherhood. It's just been great talking with a lot of guys. John, it was a great conversation with you. Don, your presenter. Amazing talking with you guys, especially back in my day, our day. You know, we're talking the 70s. So a lot of you kids or probably just like they were saying, guys going to some of these games, watching us play, hopefully inspired you guys to play. So it was quite a thrill. Wouldn't take it back for anything. As far as slipping his jacket on, beside putting my jacket on for my son's wedding, which was just in April, this has to be the next best thrill of my life, slipping his jacket on. I want to thank Rick Sager. Thank you for keeping me relevant with all these young guys, with all these great players, coaches, executives, whoever, all these people in front of me. I appreciate that. A lot of talented people that have come across this stage, and feels good to be one of them. Harry, my teammate, my friend, your football prowess, I think inspired me to be a part of something great. And that was our football team. That was our friendship. And I keep hearing brotherhood. Very true, very accurate. It It is. I like that. Thank you for those kind words and for being such a special friend. Yes, you're right. We met in 1974, 50 years ago, on the first practice field that I stepped on. And since then, it's been quite a journey, not just with you, with all of my teammates and friends. I've got other teammates out there, a handful of you out there that are just as special. Every last one of you. I've got friends out here, family. It's just so special that you guys could share this with me. It means a lot. Harry, I don't know where I would have been. My football life, my work life, my personal life. You've been a part of that. And I just don't know where I would have been without that. I appreciate that. And again, thank you for this elite recognition and this privilege to proudly stand up here among so many great players, coaches, executives. I keep hearing the reoccurring theme this evening. I came out quite a few times for the love of the game. And I think that's why we did it. I think a lot of you can attest to that. We weren't getting paid. We weren't, we weren't getting any benefits. We weren't getting TV exposure. I mean, to a certain degree, things were advertised, but we just came out. We played. We loved the game. We played hard. We played hard for each other, and we just loved the game, and that's why we did it. And I can say it was an honor. We all had jobs. A lot of us had families. A lot of us had health insurance. A lot of us didn't. But we took our beating, or we gave out a beating. Whatever happened, guys, if they survived, they were back. If they didn't, they were back the next day. Nothing was going to stop us from strapping on that helmet and pulling that uniform on, wearing it proud. I'm not much one to talk about myself, but I think I've kind of got that from Harry. But real quick, I need to mention one person that was very special to me, and really that was my maybe inspiration to play football, and that was my high school football coach by the name of Dick Roberti. I was this tall, lanky kid, destined, I guess, for basketball, and he got a hold of me, and he kind of lit this fire in me, and this spark, something was inside of me that I didn't know I had, and he brought it out of me, and I ended up loving this game, and got me where I am today, standing up here. And again, if it weren't for him, I don't know if I would have played. So wherever he is, I emphatically want to say, thank you to him. And also want to recognize my family real quick. My wonderful wife, my son, my new daughter-in-law. Unfortunately, you guys weren't around back in those days when I was playing. You guys kind of came afterwards, and I really wish you could have been. It was something to see. We were kind of the Saturday night thing to do. And back in those days, we'd get thousands. We've had 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 people that come out to watch our games, and it was just a thrill to be a part of it. Unfortunately, we didn't have modern video back in those days. We didn't have any video, really. I guess there was 8mm or something, but there's really, because it was so long ago, nobody that I know of thought to keep any of that film. So there's really nothing to show anybody of what we did and how we played and who we were, other than lore, I guess. And I again tell my family and my wife, she continuously has to hear a lot of the stories, a lot of those war stories of when we did play, and without the proof of film, but most of them are true. Yeah, good and bad. I have another family member here in the crowd, so I just want to recognize my brother Rick. and his son Cade is with him too. And the reason I'm recognizing him right now is because he just went through a serious health scare, and the toughness in him came out just like you were when you played. He was not only my brother, he was also my teammate back then. And he tied up the laces and sucked it up, and he did his physical therapy, got surgery, did medication, and he was bound and determined to come to this today. And I think that inspired him as much as me to be here today. So, Rick, you're a great brother, great teammate. And the one thing about Rick, real quick too, is he had such a love of the game. We didn't need film. Rick can tell you what happened during what game and what quarter, what score it was. And he has quite a memory for those years, and it's all kind of a wash. I always have to call him up and ask him something about that to remember. Lastly, I think it's just amazing the testament we have. I have so many friends here, so many teammates here. Most of those friends were teammates, and teammates are friends. We were playing back in a day where we had, I don't know if it's like that now. We had 80 plus 90 guys who used to try out for the team every week. So obviously you could only suit up, 40, 45 guys to play. So every week was almost like a tryout to be on the team, to suit up for Saturday's game. So needless to say, practices were intense, because at the end of Thursday practice, the coach stood there and read a roster who was going to suit up and who wasn't for that Saturday game. So for a lot of guys, their games, unfortunately, a lot of them didn't get to suit up a lot, but their Saturday nights were Thursday practices, just to try to hopefully that chance they'd make the team to suit up and stuff. And just an amazing atmosphere. Great guys, preceded by 6 other Hall of Famers that I played with, were on my same team over the years. So it kind of attests to the quality of the guys that we had, that I'm number 7 from that old 70s era of that team. So to all of you guys, it was an honor. Coach Clayt, you kept me in shape. You kept me going. You kept me out there. You let me play my game. And if I didn't hear hit, crawl, roll one more time, I would have. I don't know if I ever wanted to again. But if it weren't for you, my career in semi-pro probably wouldn't have happened. So thank you. And again, everybody, friends, family, certainly you friends, if there was a Hall of Fame for friends, you guys would be in it. You're the best. Amazing that you guys all came out here to celebrate this week. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
There you have it, guys. I wanted to do that, especially for our friend Rick Sherlock, and a great friend of the show, and Bob Sherlock, who's also been a good friend. I don't see Bob that much anymore myself, but what a great listen. The man is a Hall of Fame semi-pro football player, and he's a Hall of Fame person too. From all my interactions with Bob, there's no nicer guy in the world, and you've seen what how Rick feels and how Bob, his brother, feels about Rick. And Rick will point out, I'm sad that Rick couldn't make it this morning. I told Rick I wanted to do this and got Bobby's permission to do it. Rick is a trooper, getting out there to see Bob with the things he's been through. And Bob was by Rick's side that entire time, which is what I know Rick wanted to certainly say today, that Bobby doesn't like to talk about himself, which is one reason I didn't ask Bob to come on. and have this conversation, because I know you can see there Bob doesn't like to talk about himself. But Rick will point out to you, as he has to me many times, that his brother Bob was right by his side the entire time of his travails. So it was kind of we've got a good kinship on this show, and I love it. And I love it. And I love the fact that, you know, we can indulge ourselves a little bit with something like this, and you guys can find a way to enjoy it, because, and we'll do it for anybody that has something pertinent like this going on that they'd like to share. We can find a way to incorporate it. And it was important for me to do this for Rick and for Bob. So we got a few minutes left, and now Danny came in late. Paul came in late. And today we did something different. We're trying out, and we've got a few minutes late. And if we go over 10 o'clock, I'll say goodbye to the Northeast National Streaming Sports audience on Roku if we go past 10 o'clock. But I see Jeremy here now. So we've done a 2-minute rant thing today where I can bring you guys in. There's a link, and I'll share the link one more time. If you want to come in the show, Jeremy, Danny, Paul, you guys haven't had an opportunity. Anybody else who still might be with us or might have joined us since then, and I don't see you, I'd like to, certain John Gonzalez, I see you out there. If you're still listening or watching, click the link, come in the show. I'll give you 2 minutes. Got my stopwatch right here because I forgot to get it out for Alan in the beginning. But we'll do 2 minutes, and you can rant about anything you want. I will not interrupt you. And at the 2 minutes mark, you're done. And we'll go a little past the hour. If you three guys want to do this, it'll take us past the top of the hour. And if we do, maybe Rick pops in and can make a few comments about his brother Bob. But this is going to be, this could be a semi-regular event if this goes well. We had four or five people come on earlier. Chris came on, Mac came on, Alan, Ralph Williams, Scott would have, I think, if he was up to it. And we'll give you 2 minutes. You can rant about anything you want. You can rant about me. I don't care. And I will not interrupt you. And maybe I'll make my comments after you've finished your rant and I've sent you on your way. So Danny, I know you wanted to potentially do this. So jump on. I know we had we have a delay depending on where you're watching. So we'll give it a couple of minutes. And if nobody wants to jump on to finish this segment up, we'll wrap it up in just a bit. I think there's a comment in here I want to get to. Oh, we got a couple. Oh, that's just me. Anyway, the link's here, guys. Take a look at it. Any one of these 3 links, just click on it, and it'll bring you into the studio, and I'll pop you in. Jeremy, I know you know how this works. You got to have a rant about your Lions. Something Detroit-wise. The Tigers going out against the Indians. Danny, I'm sure you got some, you can really earn some serious itch points here. So I'll give you guys that opportunity. We'll potentially make this. We'll try to promote it a little bit. And when we don't have a guest for the one-on-one show, I'm going to make you guys the guests. It'll be rant 2-minute rant Friday. And again, I'll be off. Just to kind of recap again, I'll be off. We'll be live Sunday. We'll be live Wednesday. We'll be live whenever we do this in studio Sunday with the Sunday Stream of Consciousness. We'll have the football, college football huddle on Wednesday. We'll be in the studio. Then vacation starts Friday. We travel to New York and we'll be on the high seas for 11 days or so. So I'll be doing shows. The one-on-one shows will all be encore interviews, but the other shows, the MLB update, the Sunday Stream of Consciousness, the college football huddle. We will find time to fit those shows in, and I'd like to do them before the Roku time or doing during the Roku time so that I can fulfill my obligations to them as well. So I'm giving you guys a 2-minute warning here to be able to do, and I'll say goodbye right now to the Roku audiences. I know that at 10 o'clock I will likely get bumped by somebody else. In fact, I'm going to take us out of there. We will be on at 3 o'clock with the MLB update today. We'll talk a lot of baseball. What's going on in the there's Danny. Oh, wait a minute. I did something wrong here. I came from a spaceship. Let's hear some more of the. Yeah, right. Chris came in from his spaceship. He tried to fool me on who he was. Come on, Danny, pop in. We will be on 3:00. A lot of things to talk about with baseball and the the national, I should say, the championship series in each league. A lot of fun, good games last night. And I don't want to leave you guys out. Come on, Danny. You mentioned you want a good 2-minute rant. I'm giving you a chance to come in here and voice your itchiness. And because I want this to be something we can do. And again, we're not going to fill a whole hour with this every week, but I want you guys to do that. So Jeremy, Dan, anybody, or who else am I missing? Scott, don't know if you're still here. We didn't have an interview. I like Scott likes coming in for the interviews. Scott's a writer. I think we're going to get Scott on the show. He's written a lot of books. He's been involved in a lot of books. So what do we got here? Oh, his hair's a mess. Who cares? Look at this head of mine. I'm going to wait for one of you guys to come in. You're not prepared to be on a show yet. Just open my eyes and grab a coffee. How do you think I do my shows? So Jeremy's hair is a mess. Nobody's going to judge you, buddy. Give me 2 minutes. Come on. At this hour, Danny, did you spend time at the tables? Yes, he did. All right. That's no problem. Actually, I was kind of dragging this out because I wanted to see Rick to be able to get on. Rick, I did talk about, we'll go a couple minutes over. And Rick, I know you're in the car, I believe, driving, so you can't come. If you're on your phone, you can actually probably try to come in, Rick. And if you want to say a few words, I'll be happy to try to make that work. Don't know how good your reception is or not, but we could give it a go. Rick is thanking us for playing his brother's induction and kind words from all his new friends here. Rick, if you wanted to try to pop in, I'll put this in here. You can say no, and it won't be a problem. I'll try one more time for you. We're not getting. So you guys should be prepared. Every Friday there could be this pop quiz, if you will, with a 2-minute warning if we don't have a guest. Actually, I'll be able to probably give you a heads up unless somebody cancels. I did expect to have June Jones this week, by the way, and June is out in Hawaii, so we were going to pre-record the interview, and June didn't show up, and I haven't heard from him since. So see how that goes. Oh, Rick's actually driving. I thought you might be riding. So anyway, I would just reiterate, Rick, I repeated the words that you've told me, Rick, about your brother Bob, as I've said the same thing, and I know you feel this way. He's not just a Hall of Famer in the sense of playing football. He's also a Hall of Famer in life and as a person. He's one of the nicest people I know, and I miss seeing your brother Bob. I used to see Bobby a lot when I lived up in the area, and since I moved, he's one of the people I don't see a lot. We see him at a golf course every Saturday and Sunday with Timmy O'Brien. And as Rick said before to me, and I don't know if he said it here and I've shared it, I know he spent, he was with Rick every step of the way through his travails, and we'll go from there. So just a great person. And Rick, it's a good family. I graduated with their brother Brad. Certainly know Scott too. It's a wonderful family. And they continue to be Hall of Fame people, and it's a Hall of Fame family. And I was happy to play that today. And I was glad Bobby gave me the okay to do it, because I didn't want to do that without somebody's permission. You know, Rick shared the video with me the other day, and it was from Bob's wife's feed. And I didn't want anybody to get upset, you know. Not that I think they would, but I just think it's polite to ask in those situations. So in any event, Dave Guyette, good morning, by the way. Late today, tough loss last night, Dave. Sorry about that. Dave, I'll give you one shot. I'm going to push this up one more time. Oh, somebody's coming in. I goaded Jeremy into coming in. Dave, if you want to pop in and rant about the Yankees loss last night or whatever, I'll put it up for you too, since you came in late. We're going a little long anyway, so we'll continue to go long. Jeremy fixed his hair. Got a little Irish coffee. That's not Irish. You're not Irish, are you? We're gonna bring Jeremy in to do his rant. 2 minutes. I won't interrupt you, Jeremy. You can say anything you got to say. Hello, Jeremy.
Good morning, Keith. How are you?
I am awesome.
My rant is with everybody in the media. When you hear the coach and the GM said we're going to evaluate, what we have on this roster after the first game is why everybody that even remotely says anything negative about their team, they think they're on the trade block, even though we've had multiple reports where it says that they're not. Oh, we're trading for this guy. You know, I understand that losing Hutchinson was a huge loss for the Detroit Lions. But at the same time, they both said the very next day, we trust who's on this roster. If we can make a move, it's going to be somebody who fits this roster. And that's pretty much where it's at. And they've never made a move for somebody that's acted disgruntled. They've never made a move for somebody making waves in a locker room. And they've never spent big draft capital on anybody. And I'm not saying they won't. I'm saying they're going to evaluate after this week and see where they're at. Because in all actuality, the amount of pressure that came opposite Hutchinson with the rest of the front seven isn't as awful as everybody makes it out to be. The whole team has just as many sacks as he had individually. And don't forget, he had that huge game where everybody was wondering if he was going to break the sack record in a loss to Tampa. So that's where 4.5 of those 7.5 sacks came from. So in all actuality, in 4 games, he had 3 more sacks. So let's not overreact. Let's chill out. Let's do exactly what they said. Let's see what we got without him.
Listen to the what's your nickname? What is it?
Jeremy.
Yeah,
my channel name is Kneecap Biting with the Motor City Lions.
There you go. Check out Jeremy's stuff. Give yourself a little plug. We'll give you a couple extra seconds here to plug your show and times.
I also am an editorialist about the Lions. I have a column on the Motor City Tribune where I do my game previews, game reviews. I just submitted my game preview for this game last night. And the biggest thing that gave me hope is as soon as Hutchinson went out, the defense didn't change. They still got pressure on Dak Prescott. They still got pressure on Cooper Rush. They still made interceptions after he went out of the game. And we had a sack from Trevor Nowaski, a UDFA guy that everybody said, oh, he's not going to be any good. He gets in the game for about 15 snaps. He has 2 passes defended, a sack, 3 pressures from the Sam position. So I don't think it's all doom and gloom like some fans do. I'm looking at it with a broader spectrum.
Well, Rick Sherlock will be happy to know that I like your Lions against the Vikings this week. So Rick's probably very happy. You maybe shouldn't be.
I like the Lions this week too because of how they run the offense.
Yeah.
What they've done the last 3 weeks is run the ball down someone's throat till the defense breaks, and then they start hitting them with the passing game.
Great stuff, Jeremy. Thanks for popping in. Thanks for supporting the show. Keep up the good work that you do. Glad you were able to fix your hair this morning. I have the same issue. Every morning I have the same issue. It's a nightmare, and but we live through it. The struggle is real. Jeremy, thanks a lot.
Yep, no problem.
Bye-bye. So I embarrassed Jeremy in coming in and doing the 2-minute rant, which we gave him about 3.5. So anyway, thank you, Jeremy. Well done. We'll probably, there's Danny saying, great job, Jeremy. Danny says he'll be prepared next time. Well, we probably won't do this for a few weeks, Danny. I'm going to do it on the weeks that we don't have a guest, but the next couple of weeks I'll be traveling, so I will not be able to be on live at 9 o'clock on Fridays. We're going to try to do the rest of our shows live. Again, kind of impromptu. And what's Chris say here? The Yankees may have lost. It wasn't great. I will say this, great. And we're going to point this out. We'll talk about this at 3 o'clock on the MLB update. But I'll tell you what, as a Yankee fan, tough game to lose. As a baseball fan, what a great game. What a great game. It was, again, with the home runs and whatnot, is what the game is today. But it was a great game to watch and fun. Better played than the night before for sure. For sure. And Jeremy says, thank you, Danny. So anyway, guys, we'll wrap it up. We went a little long because I was trying to stretch to get Rick in here to talk, to at least get a mention in. Thanks to him for getting the okay for me to share Bob's induction speech. We had a lot of fun. For all of you guys that participate every week, thank you. We'll be back at 3 o'clock with the MLB update, and back Sunday with the Stream of Consciousness. Everybody have a great day. Keith Engle for TGI Sports Talk. We'll see you on the other side.
Football season is here, and SeatGeek is my go-to for buying tickets. Now with SeatGeek, every single ticket is backed with their buyer guarantee. We've all had plans change, and when you can't make it to the big game, SeatGeek has you covered. They're the only ticketer that allows you to return your tickets ahead of the event for credit with SeatGeek swaps. So when things come up, I know that my tickets won't go to waste. So what are you waiting for? Download the SeatGeek app to maximize your possibilities and shop live events with confidence.
You're watching National Streaming Sports. Over 20 podcasts, 70 shows, and a 3.5-star rating on Roku TV. Keith Engle, the guy with the sports talk show. On the internet, he's the guy that we all know. If you love your sports, he's the guy for you. He has lots of shows on Roku. Keith Engle with the TGI Sports Talk Show. You're listening to Keith Engle, the host of TGI Sports Talk on the National Streaming Sports Roku channel.